Okay. Yo, my wife is in the back. I'm not, listen, man, after this shit made me relive my childhood. My wife going, I don't want, listen. Hey, let's give a toast, my man. Gary Jenkins on the line with me, want to see him clean. How y'all doing? Hope y'all got y'all wine glasses and all that, because we're going to have a good old time. We're going to have a good old time.
Toast it up, baby. Let's go.
Toast it up, baby. Now, for the people that's here, man, before we get into anything, we are in this global pandemic. I just want to know, what are you doing to stay COVID-free right now?
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. You need the bat symbol on that mask. I make an official tissue.
Right. Hey man, I'm gonna get a line of masks that say G7. Little G, G7.
Yo, that'll be the best seller. Listen, man, make sure I be the number one on that buy list. I need that.
All right.
Man. Got my man Gary Jenkins on 101. Let the people know who you are, where you from, and what the fuck you do, baby.
What's up, everybody? I'm Gary, Little G Jenkins, soon to be G7, no parole. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee originally, but I live in Atlanta, Georgia, baby. ATL.
Hey. Listen, man, let me first and foremost, man, I love your energy. I was watching all your past interviews and stuff like that. I was like, man, this guy is going to match my energy, because I never had nobody that matched my energy yet on these one-on-one interviews. I was like, yo, Gary might be the one that matched my energy now. Listen now, don't be trying to outmatch my energy, okay, Mr. G?
Oh, no, man, we're going to ride together. We in the car together, dog.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, let me take this.
Diamond in the back, sun rooftop, dig in the scene with that gangster lean.
Hey.
Ooh.
Yo, I'm gonna have some fun. This is gonna be fun. This is
so dope, man.
Let's go back, right? Let's go back to the beginning, right? Let's go back to 7-year-old Mr. Before you was Mr. Jenkins, you was just little Gary, little G, right? Let's go back and teaching yourself how to play all these instruments. Take us back to that time, because I like the way I do interviews. I go from the beginning all the way to the end. So let's start from the beginning. 7-year-old Mr. G, how was you as a 7-year-old kid growing up in Tennessee? How did you find your love for music at that young of an age?
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm the baby of 7 kids.
7 kids. I saw that. I was like, God, Jesus, they had too much of this. And you're too much of this shit going on. Like, listen.
Yeah, we'll see what had happened was no.
Right.
And, G is the 7th letter of the alphabet, and 7 is the number of completion. So that's why I'm calling that album G7 No Parole. But anyway, I started singing at the age of 5, my brother.
5.
Yeah. My mama, she had a collection. Everything from B.B. King to the Jackson 5 to Stevie Wonder, all kind of stuff. And my older brothers and my older sisters and everything, they had their stuff. And so I grew up listening to all of that. And so at the age of 5, they discovered that I could sing a little bit, because on Saturdays when Mama, my dear, so
wow, bless up,
cleaning the house on Saturdays and everything, every weekend. And so she'd be playing the music and I'd just be humming and singing and stuff and remember the words. And so she looked at me like,
Right.
Okay. So she would have her parties on the weekends, right? The house parties, the blue lights in the basement and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, the lights is out, everybody all illuminating and all that. All right.
And they put us to bed. But then every party, they would always come and wake me up, pull me out of bed, and have me dancing and singing for the crowd, for the people at the party, and then put me right back to bed. Where they do that at?
Because you're 5 years old, Mr. G. You can't be doing that. Just to give people a little bit of what they want and go back to sleep. Yeah.
Let me get a chip or Kool-Aid, some Kool-Aid or something. You know how they used to fix those little sandwiches, and they cut them in like diamond shape.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. give you one fourth of a portion, and that's you be all right. You be all right.
Yeah, man. So you know that when it kept going on for a minute, but then you know she was really into church, so she took me to church, put me in front of the choir director, Gary Waddell Jones. Rest in peace, brother. And he also was a musician for Bobby Jones and Bobby Jones Gospel.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so he said I had a gift, so he started working with me and everything. And I would watch him play piano all the time, you know, piano and organ and stuff like that. You know, so I was a real inquisitive kid. So, you know, and I'd watch and then I had the God-given talent of being able to portray what I heard. You know, so I had this little organ at home, and I remember this. It had a little book with it. It said had songs like "Let There Be Peace on Earth and Let It Begin with Me." All that.
And I don't know nothing about that, Mr. Shit.
Right. So I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. So
hey, man, take your time.
Took me to church. I got in the choir. Put me in the choir. Started leading the songs and stuff like that, and then they took me to Bobby Jones Gospel. My mama joined the choir. One of my sisters was in the Love Train choir. It's a big choir, 200 voices and all this kind of stuff, you know. So Bobby Jones heard me, so he took me under his wing. So they, I remember we were at the James Cleveland Gospel Music Workshop when I was 8 years old, and I was put on a box. They put me up on a box because I was so little.
Oh, sure.
Singing in front of the big choir, and Shirley Caesar, Bobby Jones, and James Cleveland were on the stage with me.
That's monumental. That's crazy. That's
so
crazy.
I stayed with him for years, and he had a little children's TV show that he did in Nashville called Fun City 5. So I became one of the Fun City 5 kids. And all this. So it was already implemented in my blood that I was gonna do something in music or acting or something, whatever it was, in entertainment. Period. Because you know, it's just been my love from a kid.
Right.
And I used to revel over, you know, people like Michael Jackson and Jackson 5 and everything. They were so popular, and I wanted to be just like them. And even the Osmonds, because, you know, the Osmonds was around too. That was the rivalry. The Osmonds and the Jacksons. Remember all that? Yeah, man, it's crazy. But so in the midst of all of that, and I was doing that, and so going through school and everything, you know, I just started, you know, playing. I would listen to something and I could play it, you know, when I got to high school. You know, and all of that kind of stuff. We had the little rooms back there, and so I couldn't tell you what I was playing. But well, when I was 9 years old, my sister and her husband, they had been married for 3 years. I was in their wedding and everything. I had my little girlfriend was in the wedding and everything. It was so cute. But anyway,
look, that's why that 7 kids later on came from. Look, I see you, Mr. Jai. Little hottie toddy. Okay, Mr. Hottie toddy.
I was pimping back then. Hey, Sean, let me holler at you a minute.
Right. Oh, you got to do it celebrating with your voice. Like, hey. Oh, shit. Here you go. Look.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. So they bought me a guitar. And I was left-handed. It was acoustic guitar. So I'm a lefty. So they decided to surprise me with guitar lessons, right? So they took me to this place. It was a music store where they were giving guitar lessons, and so I went in. But the instructor was right-handed.
So all right, I get you. I see.
Yeah. So I really wanted to be like Jimi Hendrix, because you know Jimi Hendrix was left-handed.
Right.
So they switched me over. So, and then after a year of guitar lessons, the instructor said that I needed a higher level instructor than what he was.
on the guitar.
Yeah.
For the guitar? Yeah. Damn. And you should have said, I need a left-handed instructor as well. Right? While you hire and tear me up, go give me a lefty. Go give me a lucky lefty. What I'm going to do with this right-handed guy? We're not the same. We're not the same. Shit.
It was too late then. If I had gone back earlier, I probably could have done it, but right now I don't know if I can do it. But anyway, so we didn't do that. So I just took what I had learned from him and my own, God-given talent in my ear.
Right.
And so I just developed, by listening to people like Ernie Isley, B.B. King, Yngwie Malmsteen. I listened to all kind of, and then when Prince came around, oh my God.
Oh man. Well, I could imagine what that did for you when you seen this guy with this guitar. Like, I could really do that. Okay, right. How was he?
He quickly became my favorite artist.
I could imagine. Right. Like, hold up. Did you take the liking to the color purple, huh?
That's my favorite color.
Oh, look, there you go. There you go. Mr. Prince influential.
Hey man, I was pledging Q at Tennessee State University.
Oh, and I was gonna get to that too. Shit. While you into that, for the people that just chimed in, Mr. Gary Jenkins, we're starting from the beginning, from age 5, all the way until where he is now with the Michael Jordan baldy. All right, so we going way back for you guys. So this is like a little Sil Gary J history lesson for you guys that just tuning in. All right, go ahead. So since we're on that, we're from there. So now you're at TSU, that's Tennessee State University, right?
Right. Okay, through high school, I started, kind of writing a little bit, and I was, on the instruments and everything. And so I had developed to learn how to play 13 instruments. So
13.
Mm-hmm.
And what's all the 13 instruments you learned how to play? I want to know all.
Well, I came upon, guitar, piano, drums, a bunch of percussion instruments, bass, organ, B3, yeah, and the little marimba and mandolin.
What the hell is a marimba? What is that?
It's got the little metal things on it, and Earth, Wind, and Fire used to use one a lot.
I gotta Google that shit. Google's my friend. I'm gonna Google marimba. I'm gonna Google that shit right now. All right.
Maracas, all that kind of stuff, congas and bongos, and I even learned how to play the African drum and things like that, and some other ones. But anyway, my main ones, my first love is guitar, and then piano, and then drums, bass comes later after that. But anyway, so I'm doing all that. We'd have our little high school bands, and then people would ask me to play for them in the talent shows and things and stuff like that in high school and stuff. And even though I was into music like that, I like my sports. I was trying to play football for a minute. My mama didn't want me to play.
Listen,
so I was sneaking.
Nah, that football journey ain't hitting, baby.
So I was sneaking, and so one time I jumped up in the air to catch a pass, right?
Oh shit!
Me and my little short.
What started? Oh shit!
I got knocked. She never knew at that point. I said, I quit. No, this is not for me. I must go now.
Listen, you get hit that first time, you're like, hold up. I should knock some sense into your head. Like, do I really? I'm gonna stick to singing and all these 13 instruments I play. They don't hit me back. Shit. You gotta smarten up, Mr. G. Don't do it. But it's good that you tried it out and learned that it wasn't for you. Good.
Right. So then in high school, I went out for the wrestling team, right? Because I used to love wrestling. I used to love watching wrestling, right? Okay. I made a team.
Oh shit!
All good, everything. You know, I used to have like running back thighs and everything and stuff like that. So
Uh, what was your
anyway,
move? What was your finishing
huh?
move? What was your finishing move in wrestling?
It was the Nelson,
The half or the full?
the half.
The half Nelson? Okay.
I
Okay.
can lock him up quick. Man.
Mr. Technical. All right, Mr. Technical. All right, you're a technical wrestler. All right, I got you. The half Nelson. All right.
Yeah, man. But this is the killer part about that.
Mm-hmm.
I made the wrestling team, but then I found out that they were holding auditions for Hello Dolly in the theater department.
The theater. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So of course you know what I did.
You went from wrestling to Hello Dolly. What a transition! There was no middle part. You just said, "Hey, theater!" Like yo, you just went. You went there.
I like that move. Do it again. Do that move again.
Hey. That's what you did.
You on your way. You on your way. You on your way, Reggie.
My man. Oh, hold on. Oh, I gotta get another glass. Gotta see where this shit gonna go. Let me get another glass. Okay. So you went from wrestling to half Nelsons to Hello Dolly to hey theater. Okay. Keep going.
So I went in and auditioned, right? And I got the part. I'm a freshman, right?
Mm-hmm.
I beat out a senior for the lead male role of Horace Vandergilde.
That's crazy. You break.
And then I ran into the coach. The coach is, man, you made the team. What happened?
Like what? Well, how did that conversation go? Like, hey, listen, I'm in theater now. Hey, all day now. That's what I'm doing. Like, yo, what? What? How'd that conversation go? You went from a wrestler.
He was like, man, you was gonna be one of my best wrestlers, man. Come on back to it, man. You know, that's okay. It was some nice little girls up in there.
See, look. See, listen. That's where the 7 kids and all that come from. See, look at you, Mr. G. You all in it. You all in it. I'll stay away from you. I'm glad I wasn't around you in your era of time. I probably would have had 8 kids. I probably would have had to beat you by 1. Just to say I beat Mr. G. just say I beat.
It was meant to be. I am so happy to be here.
Hey, you know
anyway.
what? I saw something interesting when you was attending TSU, right, Tennessee State, that what's the guy's name? I just had it. Dizzy Giuseppe. Like when you started working with him, tell us about that story. That's a story I want to know about.
Okay. Dizzy Gillespie. I graduated from high school. I was in a program called the Inroads program, and that was for accelerated students, and I actually ended up getting a scholarship in business administration to Tennessee State, because of that program, because I had accelerated in that. They started with that in like junior high school. And I went on, to intern in Northern Telecom during the summer and everything and stuff like that. But that music bug still got me, man. It was just in me. I couldn't do nothing about it. So I changed my major. I went and had a meeting with the president of the Inroads program, and I said, it's not fair to just pinpoint it to business and engineering majors,
right?
And some computer science. I said that there's more that minorities want to do besides that.
Right.
Why not open up your program, to that? I even put a band together and performed for the Inroads convention and everything and stuff like that. So
oh wow!
It was inevitable, but I was going to do it. So I just resigned from that and I changed my major to music at Tennessee State. And when I did that, the Prof Prof. Benjamin Kirk, rest his soul. Aua, Mr. Aua at Tennessee State University. You know, he was over the jazz band as well, right? Stuff like that. So he had already, you know, been hearing some things, you know, because I was with Bobby Jones and all that kind of stuff and everything. So I got to the and he handed me the jazz book of all the jazz songs in there and everything. And so I had to go woodshed, so I was learning all that. And then we had the opportunity to play behind Mr. Dizzy Gillespie. He came down to the school. Oh my gosh, I'm on the piano. And this is happening right here in front of my face, man. I'm like, is this real?
Right. For those that don't
pinch me,
he's a world-renowned trumpet player. Like, he's one of the baddest, if not the baddest.
Right. So, wow, that was monumental. And and then I was singing with the marching band and all of that kind of stuff and everything. You know, the halftime shows and all that. You know how HBCUs are. Yeah, we get crunk.
Shout out to HBCUs, yes. Shout out to Lincoln University, what up?
So after a few years in college, well, actually, right at my first year in college, I started becoming the church musician at my home church, Emmanuel Missionary Baptist Church. So I became a musician up under Mr. Gary Jones. So I'm doing that, but my little girlfriend at the time when I had got to college, her sister's boyfriend worked at this club in Nashville that was one of the most popular clubs. People like James Brown, Etta James, and all those kind of people had come through this club. So it was a monumental place. The Modern Era Club, Mr. Sue. Never forget him. Rest his soul. So he had me to come down and audition, you know, for the band. Not knowing, have you seen the movie Cadillac Records?
Cadillac Records, that's the one with Beyonce in it and yeah. So I didn't know I was doing this, but I became a headhunter. You know what a head? You remember in the movie how the headhunter, when somebody come and snatching musicians, or somebody would come in and play and just take your position? Yeah, that was you. He put me in that position, man. I'll never forget it. So I went down, I took my guitar down there. The name of the band was the Sioux City Band, named after Mr. Sue, because it was the weekend band for that club. So time came for me to come on up. So I went on up and I plugged up. And so I did Kiss, Prince's Kiss. Your favorite. Yeah. So at the end of the night, Mike comes over to me. He said, "Come in, man. Mr. Sue wants to talk to you for a minute." And I was like, "Okay." He was like, and he had this thing about it being funky. If it wasn't funky and people wasn't on the dance floor, and he wouldn't with it. Right. Little buddy, that ain't funky. But when I went up to him now, he said, "Now, Mike, that's what I'm talking about when I talk about funky. That's funky right there. You need to get rid of that little bird up there, man. Let's go on and get this little man in here." And so I'm standing there like, I'm like, get rid of her? Huh? What is going on? And I saw dude packing up. Oh yeah, dude, look on his face, he was mad and everything. And I'm like, what's going on? Anyway, so I felt so bad, man. But you should feel bad, because every step along the way is just a step that was preordained for you. So that was meant to happen, right? So that was the door that opened and said, okay, let me be the headhunter. Let me go through this door, walk through that door, take that. So don't get mad at that. That was part of your destiny. You know what I mean? Part of the destiny, I guess, right? So, you know, that went on, you know, for a few years, and, you know, we escalated. We became like one of the most popular bands in Nashville. So I'm
in the club on the weekends, and then Sunday morning I'm at church, choir directing and playing organ and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. So we had a chance to do the Budweiser Showdown.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that, but that was Budweiser sponsored it, like in different cities and stuff like that. And the best bands, it was a band competition. And in Nashville, we won. And so we won the main one. And we had an opportunity to record 2 songs, an A and B side on vinyl. You know what I'm talking about?
Damn, my man said vinyl. Shit. Don't tell my age. I'm young. I'm 20. I'm 21. All right?
Yeah.
I don't know what vinyl is. What is that? What's that? I don't know. Vinyl.
Yeah. I'm just 25, man. I'm just 3-4 years older than you, dog. You know, I just had people to show me. You know what I'm saying?
Toast to that. Toast to the 20s. Shit. Toast to the 20s. Shit.
Yeah, man. So the rest is history, man. And so I stopped doing that, but I was still playing for the church and everything, and doing some of my own things. I had the opportunity to be signed to a production deal, and I had just started on that. And I had recorded like 3 songs under this production deal. And there were 2 young ladies in Nashville that were managing me at the time. And they knew a couple named Louise and Lonnie Ferguson in Atlanta. Now, they were the managers for Silk. Silk came about in '89. They started in '89. They were doing like high school talent shows and all that kind of stuff. Same stuff I was doing in Nashville.
Right.
You know, back in high school and stuff like that. So they had built a little, you know, name for themselves. And Lonnie just so happened to be Keith Sweat's road manager. So they were having a barbecue at their house. And Keith heard us sing. And he decided he wanted to work with. So he put them, it's a song called Give Me What I Want on one of his albums, and he featured the group on there. And he decided after that that the group needed a stronger lead vocalist.
Right.
Or whatever. So he held auditions.
Wait, hold on. Stop right there. Because I always thought that, it was kind of like Keith Sweat had a group of people and he put them together, then made the name for himself. So Silk was already out, and before you even got there, the name was already established. Yeah,
the name was established, you know, but they weren't established in the industry.
Oh, okay. See, I'm getting a lesson. I didn't know that. Okay, let me drink to that.
Yeah, so they were doing local stuff, you know, in churches and everything. But they some church boys too. We were all church boys singing "Freak Me." We're gonna get to that. But anyway,
"Freak Me, Baby." Oh, she's like, wait, hold up. "Freak Me, Baby." She's like.
So he held auditions, and it was about 9 of us that auditioned, and I ended up getting it. So 1992, January 26th, on my birthday, I moved to Atlanta. And that was the beginning of it. We went out to LA, started recording the first album, Lose Control, and everything. Well, we started in Atlanta, but we did the majority of it out in LA. We were out in LA for 3 months. So November 1992, I'm in my brother's car in Nashville, Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, happy days from the new R&B sensation Silk, developed by Keith Sweat. Yeah, doom doo doo. This for all the dope honeys, man. That moment right there.
Was it that right there? That was it?
I pulled over on the side of the road. I jumped out of the car. I was running around the car like, that's it. We on the radio. You know, we had no cell phones then. I would have been calling everybody, bruh.
You on the rotary, you going to the little payphone, putting your quarters in. Yo, guess what, B? Yo, you got 10 seconds left. Hold on, let me put another quarter in. Yo, we on the radio. Facts.
Off the chain, man. So, man, that was a real moment right there. And so that was the beginning of it all, man. That was
what did like so because I didn't know that backstory that you came into the group and they picked you as a lead singer. Because I want to know like where did the name like originate from? Yeah, did you know where that name originated from? I want to know because how did that name come about? Silk, because that's I love silk. Put me in some silk shit. I'm like, oh, I'm sexy and all that. Silk. Where did that name come from?
Two of the guys worked at McDonald's. Don't spit it out. Don't choke, man. Don't choke. Come on now. Don't worry. Don't choke.
I had a little drink. When you said McDonald's, I was like, McDonald's. Hold on. Let me get okay. Let's talk about it. Silk and McDonald's. Okay. All right. That's odd, but let's see where this goes.
And that would be Jim and John. And Timzo is Jimmy's cousin, and he used to come and get free food all the time. So they decided to put together a group, and then there was another cousin that came into the picture, Tiger Graham. They went through some different member changes and everything, but while they were at McDonald's, what they would do is after they finished cleaning up and everything, then they would just rehearse.
They rehearsed.
Trying to put it together, they told me they came up with names like 3 to Go and
Wait, hold up. I'm trying to hold up, Mr. G. Let's put this shit together. So you got McDonald's, you got Church Boys, you got Silk, and you got Freak Me Baby. How the hell? This shit don't even. How the hell that shit? I'm flabbergasted.
Seemed like Hidden Figures or something. You remember the movie Hidden Figures? They just kept missing something from that equation.
This shit don't add up. You got singing guys from McDonald's in the church freaking the ladies. Okay, all right, let's get it. That's odd as fuck.
Freak Me was close to the last song that we recorded, right? We're gonna skip on over to that now. So
okay, let's go.
It started in McDonald's, held auditions, came up with the name. They came up with the name Silk, because that's how they wanted the harmonies to be rich and smooth, like the fabric silk. So ideal name. So, man, Keith came in the studio and was like, "Yeah, baby, I want y'all to do this song right here, man. I need y'all to check this out. This song, this is a real dope song." He started singing the lyrics and stuff, right? So we were looking at each other, and we was like, "Hold on, man. How are we gonna do that?"
Right.
How our mama's gonna kill us, man.
We church boys. How we gonna lick you up in
church boy? This ain't gonna work, man. So
we know about this song.
We tried to talk to Keith about it. He was like, yeah, baby. I just need y'all to trust me, man. I just need y'all to trust me, baby. You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, man, I know what I'm doing, man. I know what I'm doing. I mean, I ain't got hits for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got, gold and platinum records and stuff for nothing. You know what I'm saying, baby? You just got to trust me.
You gonna turn y'all out. Keep sweating to turn y'all out. He turned y'all boys out.
So we calmed down and we went on and did it. And of course, you see what happened. It just blew up-tuated.
Blew up-tuated. That's a new word. Ding ding.
It blew up-tuated.
Blew up-tuated. So take us during that time, right? So you got church boys, right? That came up with the song and from McDonald's. Now, I got this #1 record, Freak Me. Take us during that time. How did y'all navigate wondering through all the women that's like throwing their panties at y'all. How did y'all listen? Okay, let me just put it out there, right? What the fuck crazy experience did y'all have during that time? When was that turning point? Like, yo, we went from church boys to, listen, we some grown ass in it men. What was that turning point for y'all during that time period?
It happened so fast
Mm-hmm.
that we really didn't even have time to really wrap our heads around it. We was just scared that we was gonna get a lot of backlash.
Right.
But we didn't. You know, it was only a couple of mothers at the church that was like, now look, Gary.
They start looking at you different, right? Like little Gary. No, they take the little off. Gary, I heard that freaking song, Gary. Is there any truth to that song, Gary? And we'll start calling you little no more. That little out the window. You don't want to freak me. That little. Man, I'm calling no damn little.
I knew you was crazy like me, bro.
That's what I said. I was like, yo, the energy, I'm like, yo, he gonna match my energy.
Oh man. So all our parents and all our people and everything, they were just like, you know, jumping for joy, man, because, you know, these boys done made it. Because I was the first thing out of Nashville, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on the R&B side, you know, and stuff
Right.
like that. Because, you know, Nashville was known for country music, and then gospel was next. So everybody just got behind it, man, and the song just took off so bad. And, you know, and it's a shame to say it, but even little children was singing this song, man.
Listen, it's one of those songs that's, you know, you got the songs that's just a staple in whatever genre or era it is. That song right there, freak me, baby. Like, yo, that opening line right there, like, whoa, it's just an impact opening line, like, freak me, baby. And then if people don't know the back, so he's coming for some church boys that made the name in McDonald's. Like, yo, what? What? Shit.
I hope they don't get mad at me for giving all the tea. They ain't gonna get mad at me. They ain't getting mad at me.
Shit. Listen, man. I told people, get your wine. This is grown man talk. This is not for the faint of heart, okay? Shit. Let's sit to that.
Hey, somebody just hit and said, I know I was.
See? Oh, a lot of the millennials today were most likely made to that freak me, baby. You go and ask their parents, what was the song that conceived you? They're going to say, freak me, baby. That's all they're going to say. That's all they're going to say.
Man, I have been thanked by so many dudes talking about what I helped them do. I'd have been asked to help pay child support so many times. I've been told by so many females that they lost their virginity, you know, and all that. Can I say that?
No, you just listen. No, they good. Instagram ain't gonna cut us off for that. You don't want to know, because like me, because I grew up, like, my favorite genre of music is R&B, right? So I mean, I love my hip hop. I used to be an artist back in the day, but R&B just does something to me. I like to be in that mood. So, like, when you see R&B now compared to how it was back in the days, like, where do you feel like the R&B game? Do you feel like it's never going to come back like how it was before, or are you comfortable with how the R&B game and genre is right now currently?
You know, I'm comfortable with it, because first of all, I'm a firm believer that there's room for everybody in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
And what we got to stop doing is we got to stop being combative with each other and so competitive with each other
That's
that
true.
we don't learn how to come together and unify together, because it's power in numbers.
That's
Anything that you do.
That's right.
Know? So instead of us clicking and man, it should be so much more things going on, you know, and I can't necessarily be mad at hip hop either, because if you really think about it, we could be considered as like the first group to incorporate rap and R&B in Freak Me.
Freak Me. That's a true statement. That's a factual statement.
How they say today? Facts.
Facts. Facts. That's facts.
Yeah.
So I want to know, right?
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I believe there's room for everybody, and I like a lot of the new stuff that's out. The only thing that I would tell the younger generation as a R&B veteran is R&B music is all about the women. More so. You know what I'm saying? 95% women.
Right.
So we have to adhere to them. We have to give them what they need, what they want. So women don't like to rush through their endeavors.
Right.
That's where the term foreplay comes
into play. Right.
Yeah.
So man, listen, right.
I would say young bucks, don't go for the jugular right off the bat, because music today is one play. Let's get back to foreplay.
Let's get right.
And I think once we do that, R&B will be back where it's supposed to be.
Right. I mean, I concur, man, because it's like I try to listen to today's R&B. There's a few cats that kind of, for me, will bring back the essence. Like I had Troy Taylor on a couple of weeks ago, and we was talking about R&B, things of that nature. We were talking about like Trey Songz and how I felt like as R&B wise, he was like the closest to bringing back that essence of where it was back in the days where R&B is concerned. And I just think that a lot of these guys now, that's R&B singers or groups, or however, they don't pay homage to the guys in the groups that paved the way, and they just don't listen to the music back in the day. So they don't really know how to compile a real R&B song because they're not educated and they haven't listened to the Silks, Drew Hills, Boyz II Men, to those groups that had real R&B music. So that's why I think it's lacking, because they don't have the knowledge and the history to go with it when they writing their music. For my next question, man, like the success, over 5 million records sold, right? Like, there's no doubt what Silk meant to the R&B genre of music, right? So for you, I want to know, I like to ask some nitty-gritty questions, because there was a lot of R&B groups back in those days. So was there like beef? Like, who was the group that you had beef for? Like, yo, these guys trying to jack our shit. We gotta let's Church Boy, McDonald guys, Silk, let's come together. Let's crush these dudes. Like, who was the group that you was like, yo, we gotta watch out for this group? They coming.
We didn't have no beefs.
No beefs? All right. No
beefs.
Drink to no beefs.
Drink to no beefs.
Drink to no beefs.
Yeah, no beefs at all. Well, that we knew of. Some people might have been coming for us, but we wasn't on all that.
Right.
We were just doing what we do.
Right. So who was like,
with it?
Who was like your who was you guys? Well, not you guys. Who was you per se? Who was like one of your musical influences, guys that you looked up to, other than Prince? I know Prince, but other than him, who was the other guys that you looked up to that you wanted to model yourself after?
Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway, Sam Cooke.
Oh, James, Sam Cooke, that's my man. Sam Cooke. I love Cooke, man. Let me toast up to Sam Cooke, man. Yeah.
Toast to Sam Cooke. James Brown. James Brown, the Isley Brothers. Man.
So let's no, go ahead.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. I listen to all of them. Michael Jackson.
That's my man. still got my shit. I still got my glove and all that. Don't play with me. Don't play with me, my Michael Jackson. I don't play with my man Mike, okay? Don't play with my man Mike. I bust a move for you, Mr. G. I bust a move for you. So I want to, all right, let's take us back, right? No, well, we've been going back. So we going through like a transitional period, right? So Silk has monumental success, right? You own Elektra, I keep saying that shit wrong. Elektra Records, right? So when that Elektra, when that record label folded, right? I feel like that was like a very key pivotal turning point for you guys as a group in the career. So how did Elektra folding? How did that affect you guys as a group, and how did that affect you individually?
Elektra was under the WEA umbrella, Warner Elektra Atlantic. So we were still in the cusp of it. I don't remember exactly when Elektra folded, because we were still on Elektra. That was the Love Session album. And I think the Love Session album, the fourth album, was the last album that we did on Elektra. Yeah. So, at that point, that was right after the Tonight album. Tonight album boomed. But for some reason or another, the Love Session album didn't get quite the push, that it could have, because that was a powerful, solid album. And could have done more. It did well, but it could have done a whole lot more.
Push, right.
So, yeah, and so that was during that little transitionary period, and I was doing plays and everything while I was even on the Tonight album. Because if you notice, there's an interview at the end of that album where I wasn't there. That's because I was out with Tyler Perry. No, Tyler Perry was the next one. I was out with another play at that time. So, I was doing a bunch of things, and I had everybody knew that I always had aspirations of doing a solo record. So, but still maintaining to be in the group. But there were certain pieces of red tape, that had to come about, and so I had to go through certain phases in order to make happen what I needed to happen for myself,
right?
To get it off my chest, and so the group kept going, and everything, and then we came back together. It was like, nobody ever really left or anything. It was just, I just need to step out for a minute. Let me do this. Y'all carry on.
Right.
And then we're going to finish this thing up.
Right.
So we came back around to the Sweat Hotel. Then, that's when we had started dibbling and dabbling, before that. But then that was like the real, like, pow, they're back. So we took it from there. We still here, right now, keeping it going strong.
And I could tell, because I was like, you guys are like probably one of the only groups that's like have all their core members intact. Like, no, you guys are from 1980 to 2020. Y'all still the same core group members. How hard is it? Well, like, how hard is it to keep the core? Because when you look at groups, you see like the Destiny Child, the B2K, all these groups, they break up. How hard is it to keep the group intact and keep the music flowing?
Man, there's a formula. We're businessmen, business partners, but we also became brothers. So, family, business. A lot of situations that don't work out right.
That's true.
But see, but what we learned how to do, we had to realize that each one of us is an individual person.
Right.
Each person's going to have an individual attitude. Each person's going to have an individual say-so.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to learn how to do it democratically.
Right.
Take a vote on things. Hey, you get outvoted, tough, suck it up. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Yeah. So, you know, and just like any family, brothers and sisters, you know, everybody have they knockdown, drag out. You know, it ain't, life ain't been no crystal stair. You know, life is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, no, you're gonna get, sir. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we've definitely had our moments, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, we come together, and once we hit that stage, everything goes out the window.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So when you went on to like do your solo project, The Other Side,